Hi everyone, it's me Hatsy and I'm back with another speed build. So this time we are going to be building a very old English estate. So this is going to be called Calliwell Estate. I made the name up because I was trying to find something that sounded a little bit pretentious. I'm sorry if anyone's surname is Calliwell, but I love it. I genuinely love the name. I think it's so nice and it just suited what I wanted it for. And to be honest, I think my surname sounds a little bit pretentious, so there we go. So anyway, I wanted to do this build because it's actually going to be for a new Let's Play that's going to be shared onto the channel. Now, there have been a lot of mixed messages, and when I've written things on Twitter or on Simsamino, because of course I use the app constantly, I'm talking to people on there, it has been a little bit of a misleading thing that I've said, and this Let's Play isn't going to come out for another month or so. So if you're thinking it's going to be out in the next few days, no, I'm sorry, it's not. It's actually going to be replacing the pomegranates, which I'm a little bit sad about, but I think that it's still a really good thing. Because I feel like the pomegranates was my first Let's Play ever. It was my first Let's Play, so I'm not sure why I'm just feeling like it, because it is. But the pomegranates was something that was very meaningful to me, and I just feel like it's time to move on and do something bigger and better and more dramatic. And I feel like this is it. So I definitely wanted to do something that was unique. And I thought doing an 1800s drama Let's Play would be really interesting, because I've loved the idea for ages of like lords, ladies, duchesses and dukes and earls and all those different titles. I just think it's absolutely fascinating. I really don't know a lot about them. Of course, if you do want to help with the Let's Play, if I have any historians, people that are very good at history, but if you do know anything about that sort of thing, and if you really want to help with it, then I would love you to, because you can just drop me an email. It will be in the description below, and yeah, you can give me an email and we can talk about it. Because I've been wanting to find ideas for this Let's Play, and it's something that I've been thinking about for the last few weeks. And it is going to run in the same way as Let's Play Witches. So I'm very excited about it, because Let's Play Witches is actually my favourite thing to make on the channel. So by adding another one, even though it's going to take a lot of time and effort, because a single part of Let's Play Witches probably takes about a day and a half to 2 days, I think it's definitely worth it, and it's something that I can look at my channel and say, do you know what, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy with the Let's Play, I'm happy that I'm putting in my full effort, and I'm not just sharing like a 30-minute unedited clip of me playing the game, because that's not what I enjoy. But anyway, this was the build. So what I was actually doing is I was looking at several reference pictures from different houses in England. So for those of you that don't know, I have been in the process of like looking for houses to move to, and it's honestly so fun. I don't know if anyone else does this, but even when I'm not moving, I just love looking at houses, just seeing what other people have on the inside of the houses. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Sims builder. I have no idea, but that has been a fascination of mine for ages. I thought that it was just because I was nosy, and I honestly have no idea. Maybe it's just like my inner architect. I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's something that I definitely enjoy doing. And the other thing that I enjoy doing is looking at houses that I will never ever be able to afford. So that came up, and I was looking at this house, and it's got to be about like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. I have no idea. And it was just really interesting to see the inside of it. And I've been to houses that have been like really big, you know, friends of friends' houses and stuff in the past, but nothing like the house that we're building at the moment. And I think the house that I was really inspired by was a house that wasn't too far off where I got married, somewhere in Herefordshire, and it was just stunning. So I definitely took a lot of inspiration from the house that I found on the app called Rightmove. This is not a sponsored video, it's just the app that I use. If you're wondering how you can nosy about houses, just like I do, then that is exactly what I do. So there you go. But no, I had a lot of fun, and this house, I feel like it turned out really nicely. It doesn't look too good at this point, I have to admit, and it was probably at the point where I was thinking, do I give up on this house? I really do try not to give up on my builds, and that's like the best advice I give to anyone. If you ever think you're going to give up on a build, try to stick it through. But I sometimes feel like I'm going to give up with it, and I mean, like 5 minutes later I'm thinking, okay, I really am happy that I didn't, because I stuck it through and it's completely different to what I imagined, but I love it. I went with a really cream theme for the house, and that was because when I was looking at pictures of other English estates and really big old English mansions, that was the colour scheme that really stood out to me, and it just reminds me of like a really English home. So I don't know, but I just thought it looked nice, and I like the idea of having a paler house. So if you are wondering about the Let's Play and you want to find out more about the characters, I will briefly go through it in this video. And I haven't really got much to say because I haven't planned it all yet, but the basic idea that I've got so far is that there are going to be 4 daughters and 1 father. And the decisions and things of the family are going to be very much controlled by the grandparents, because the grandparents or the in-laws of the father are going to be incredibly controlling. And they actually own this house technically because it's their money, and they didn't approve of their daughter marrying the father, and it just so happened that she left 4 daughters behind after she unfortunately passed away. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because it's going to be a lot of drama, lots of arranged marriages, lots of rebellion, things like that going on. There will of course also be voiceover parts, so that will be something that I'll be introducing at a later date, and I will be making an announcement officially over Twitter and also on YouTube. But if you do want to audition prior to that, then please go ahead. My email will be below, and you can. I'm looking for old English voices, so you don't necessarily have to be English, you just need to have like a believable English accent, and that is only because of the type of drama it is. Of course, for Let's Play Witches, I pretty much just go for every single voice accent. It really doesn't matter to me. Of course, it would be nice to have like London accents, things like that. And I think that would make it interesting, but of course there will be other parts. There will be people visiting, so definitely American accents as well. It doesn't have to be necessarily so accurate because it is The Sims. Like, there are going to be some magical things that will happen, so it's not a big deal if you really can't do an English accent. But of course the majority of the parts will be the old English type accent. But yeah, so far the Let's Play Witches voiceovers have just been phenomenal, and that is why I wanted to carry on that, because I love it. I love involving everyone on my channel and being able to do that, and it's fantastic. It's a great way to discover new channels as well, and people that have just started up. So yeah, I love that idea. Anyway, I was onto the landscaping, which is my favourite part of the build. And actually what I did is I took a lot of the ivy off during the end. So you will see that it looks really terrible to begin with. And I think it looks a lot nicer during the end of it. And I was definitely excited about sharing it with you because it's the sort of house that I would really like myself. And I don't know, I would like to live here myself if I had the opportunity to live in one of my mansions, let's say. I don't know, someone built it for me. Strange story though, I actually got an email the other day, I think it was a scam, of somebody saying that they wanted me to build them a house, and they have bought a plot of land somewhere, and it was just the most craziest email ever. It was a great read though, so I definitely enjoyed doing that. But yeah, I would definitely live in this house myself if I was given the opportunity to. I think that if I was to choose a mansion that I've built before that I would live in, it would be this one. It genuinely would. I wouldn't live in Spooksy Manor, even though I have said several times, like, it is one of my favourite builds. It was actually one of my first videos on YouTube. And I don't know why, but I decided to start uploading when I was really ill, because I had like a terrible voice cold. I have no idea, like, what's the best way to describe that? It's when your voice goes really deep, and it did that for like, I think a couple of weeks. And yeah, that's basically when I started at my channel. So it's when I had that, and it was like, oh, really? Am I looking back at my videos and hearing that? But yeah, there we go. Really strange though. There was a girl at my school, and she had a deep voice for 9 months, which was crazy. So I usually have like voice colds, that's the best way that I can say it. And that happens like when I get ill. So I don't really get symptoms of being ill. I usually get a temperature, and then my voice goes, and I definitely get headaches. Oh my gosh, I get headaches like pretty much every single week, almost every day actually. It's really bad. And yeah, I don't get much else other than that, but I know that everyone has like different symptoms. So I knew this girl, she had it for 9 months, which I honestly can't imagine. And I mean, it's really crazy just seeing the different symptoms that everyone comes up with when they are ill. I also used to know this person, they used to be a friend of mine, And they used to get a rash like when they started to become ill, which is crazy because you can actually see it on your skin before you become ill. I don't know how true that was. I don't know even if that would work. Maybe it was an allergy to something. I genuinely don't know. Anyway, I was finishing off the landscaping at the front here, so it was definitely starting to look more like Calliwell Estate at this point. But the idea was that I really wanted to focus so much on the house, and something that I knew when I was building this, which I didn't know when I was building, like, I suppose, Elizabeth's witch house, and that's the main house that the Let's Play is filmed in, was that I was going to use it. So I didn't necessarily know. I think I had maybe a feeling or an idea that I might in the future, but with this house I absolutely knew. So one thing that I wanted to do was plan it and make sure that there were so many areas which could just be really interesting areas that the Sims could maybe hide away a bit and go and have like a private conversation. So I definitely wanted to do that. Another thing that I did add was a stables. So if you've never seen that done before, you can do it. Of course, the horses won't move and it might look a little bit creepy at night. There we go though, it's interesting. And I love a good old stables because my best friend actually has like her own horse stables. It's about 40 horses living at these horse stables, and it's just so interesting to go around, and I love her horse. She has the most amazing horse. It's so friendly, and I get petrified of horses sometimes, but I'm not petrified of her horse whatsoever, and it's just lovely to like go and visit her and go on the farm and yeah, see the horses. That's how I got the inspiration off the stable, so it might not be like 100% accurate, but bear with me because I haven't visited my best friend in I think a couple of months, so it's been a while, and it's sad, but that's just because I live abroad, so it's really difficult to go and see her as much as I would want to. But that's how it finished off, so I was pretty excited about that. A really strange story is the fact that one of my family members actually got kicked by a horse, and that is how they passed away. So I never actually met them, but I think it's like my great uncle or something, I don't know. But it's a pretty tragic story, and that was because he stood behind a horse, which you're never supposed to do. So if you like horses and if you don't know much about them, you just like looking at them or something, just never stand behind a horse because you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, anyway, what I was doing is I was doing the back garden. It was turning out to be really plastered in this cobblestone. Cobblestone is something that it reminds me of my husband's old boarding school. He took me there one time, and it's got so much of this, like the whole school grounds is like covered with this cobblestone. It's lovely, and it's just a really nice town. Like we went there for like a coffee or something, and we went there for a meal a while ago because we were looking at buying around the area, and we ended up not doing it. Really strange story. We've actually nearly bought like 6 or 7 houses, I'm not even joking. And no, not all at the same time, like on separate occasions. We've been so convinced in the past, like, okay, we're buying this house, we're going for it. And we say it every time, we're like, we can't, like, we're moving, we can't do it. The company then want us to go and move somewhere else. That's what happens. Anyway, there was a pool here, and I wanted a pool that would look really natural because I just didn't think that pools would be popular in the 1800s. I mean, I don't know, because I have watched, of course, you know, period dramas in the past and things like that. I've also read some books, but not too much because I don't read a lot, in case you don't know. I do get a lot of comments asking, why don't you read, or like, you should read. It's just because I have a really bad concentration span. So even when I do speed builds and stuff, that's why like sometimes I have to stop. And during Let's Plays too, I could never film a Let's Play for like 30 to 40 minutes of just constantly going because I distract myself so much. And I don't know, I like to keep it fun, and that's the same with books. I just get really easily distracted, and I pick up noises just so much. Like, I used to have to do exams and things at school in a separate room, and that was because apparently you can have like oversensitive hearing or something, and the teacher said that that was something that I had or what was going on at the time. So it basically just meant that I would pick up background noise so much compared to other people. So I would just be like sat at a restaurant, it still happens, where I'll be just sat down and my mum will be talking to me, or whoever I'm with will be talking to me, and all of a sudden there will be like somebody in the background moving around their napkin, and I will just turn my head because it's the loudest noise ever, and whoever I'm with will be like, what are you doing? So yeah, that's what happens. But anyway, I was finishing off putting around some landscaping, so I wanted it to look quite wild, and it's also a massive plot, so I thought loads of fairy tale, beautiful pink and purple flowers would look really good, and I just didn't do my usual landscaping here. I've actually been finding that, okay, so a while ago, I feel like I started experimenting with landscaping, and it's basically where I use the set plants and then the set stones that I put around them, and it just got to the point where I felt like it was overdone. It was too mainstream. And that's what I call it. So I am experimenting with my landscaping at the moment just because I want it to look different and unique, and I want to keep the creations like in a way that they'll all look different. Like they won't have the same landscaping each time and the same look to them. I feel like I used to do that a lot with my builds. Like looking back on the Sims 4 gallery, it was pretty much the same house just with like a different wallpaper, and I just don't want to go back to that again. So I'm definitely happy with how I'm doing things now. There's also going to be a crazy amount of trees on this build, and that is just because I love big trees, especially willow trees. I actually used to go to a person's house when I was younger that had a willow tree, and this willow tree, they told me it was like 1,000 years old. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe 700, but I honestly can't remember. Like maybe I exaggerated it and then I'm just remembering it as 1,000. Honestly, I have no idea. But anyway, this willow tree, the leaves went to the bottom. So we actually had to crawl through the leaves to get to the center of the willow tree. And it was just wonderful. There was like a swing inside. There was like a proper seating area. And it was just lovely what they did with this willow tree. Anyway, what I was doing is I was onto the lights. So the lights are very important on a build like this because I feel like it's important at night. I did forget it with the Let's Play Witch's house, the main one, and I did not want to forget it with this one because there are definitely going to be some late night scenes in the Let's Play with the machinimas and some people visiting the house and people sneaking out as well, where I wanted it to be lit up because it's supposed to be, I don't know, a very glamorous area, I guess. I think it fits in with the environment perfectly though. Being in Windenburg, I think it just looks so good being here. And you can see like the Tudor houses in the background because it's supposed to be like an English-German environment. That's the impression I get off Windenburg anyway. And I just feel like it's the perfect place to do a Let's Play the 1800s era. Of course, there will be cars, and that's something that I really, really dislike. But I'm just not going to film, like, we're not going to go to places where I know that there are cars. As crazy as that sounds, I've also installed a mod, which means that the Sims won't use their phones as much and they won't just automatically stand there and use their phone. How annoying is that though? It's annoying enough that people do that in public. Like I hate when I'm trying to speak to someone and they are on their phone, or like they're just like standing there not looking at the beautiful world outside them. It's just crazy. So yeah, I hate when the Sims do that, but I'm definitely happy that I've installed the mod so that won't happen in the Let's Play. But anyway, that is the end of the build, so I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you all for the Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching and I'll speak to you all soon.